What is going on, everybody? Welcome back into the channel. My name is Rock Soldier, and today we got brand new NF music, man. We are checking out the first song off his newest album, Hope. The album doesn't release for was it like another 2 months or so, but still, nonetheless, man, very exciting. It's #1 trending right now, man. I got my NF hat, got my NF Clouds shirt on, man. So I'm super excited to check out this track, guys. We're gonna hop right into this thing. Let's get it.
I'm on my way, I'm coming. Don't lose faith in me. I know you've been waiting. I know you've been praying for my soul. Oh. 30 years you've been dragging your feet, telling me I'm the reason we're stagnant. 30 years you've been claiming you're honest and promising progress. Well, where is it at? I don't want you to feel like a failure. I know this hurts, but I gave you your chance to deliver. Now it's my turn. Don't get me wrong, nature had a great run, but it's time to give the people something different. So
look at
without
that.
further
That is
ado,
beautiful.
I'd like to introduce my album. Hope.
Wow, dude. I mean, I'm just looking at the scenery in this music video. Like, what a beautiful place, man. Like, I wonder where he is. I really like the start of this song, right? We kind of heard like two different perspectives here just in the beginning. You know, the first part here, like Nate's kind of talking to his hope, like saying, "Don't worry, I'm coming around." Like, you know, I'm getting ready to have hope again, right? You know, don't leave me, type of thing, right? And then it's kind of like Hope is responding to him. You know, 30 years you've been dragging your feet. You know, 30 years you've been claiming you're honest and promising progress, right? So it's kind of him speaking to him about, like, you know, I've stuck around, but you know, it's time to do something, right? It's time to actually deliver some results, right? So it's kind of interesting seeing those two sides of it. And as for like the musical standpoint, I mean, just the beginning of this, like kind of when it turned up was really nice, kind of, and the piano is nice. Like, it's kind of unorthodox almost, like, sounding, and but it's working really well.
Your chance to deliver. Now it's my turn. Don't get me wrong, nature had a great run, but it's time to give the people something different.
Oh, okay, yeah, I completely missed that. The first time. So yeah, he's saying it's time for my albums to be probably, you know, more hopeful, more positive outlooking, right? So I guess we kind of get that in some of the imagery. We kind of see this night, bright, beautiful place, right? He's in all white, whereas, you know, usually he's in his all black, hoodie up type thing, right? So I mean, I guess he's kind of like letting us know like where the album's gonna go, right? That sounds so good, man.
Time to give the people something different. So without further ado, I
like these big like crescendos, and it just comes back down, man. It's so good.
My album. Hope. What's my definition of success? Listening to what your heart says. Standing up for what you know is right while everybody else is. Tucking their toe between their legs. What's my definition of success? Creating something no one else can. Being brave enough to dream big. Grinding when you're told to just quit. Giving more when you got nothing left. It's a person that'll take a chance on something they were told could never happen. It's a person that can see the bright side through the dark times when there ain't one. It's when
I get it now, where he's like the whole my album. It was like dark Nate and light Nate almost, right? It was like this is my album. Like they're still kind of arguing a little bit, right? But yeah, man, I mean, what is the definition of success? I mean, here he's just saying it's doing the hard thing, right? It's following what your heart says, not necessarily what everyone else is doing. It's really grinding out and digging deep, and trying to come up with something unique and creative, right? And just not taking the easy path, like no shortcuts, no cutting corners, right?
Just quit, giving more when you got nothing left. It's a person that'll take a chance on something they were told can never happen. It's a person that can see the bright side through the dark times when there ain't one. It's when someone who ain't never had nothing ain't afraid to walk away from more profit because they rather do something that they really love and take the pay cut. It's a person that would never waver or change who they are just to try and gain some credibility so they can feel accepted by a stranger. It's a person that can take the failures in their life and turn them into motivation. It's believing in yourself when no one else does. It's amazing what a little bit of faith can do. If you don't even believe in you, why would you think or expect anybody else that's around you to? I done did.
Very, very true. Okay, so I like what's going on here in the music video, right? He's kind of like got like all white Nate looking with a map, I would guess, trying to find hope, right? And he keeps running into dark Nate, and he's kind of just messing with him. He's like, yeah, it's that way, and then next thing he's like, here's dark Nate again, like I'm back, you know, type thing. It's pretty funny. I mean, he's always had like a good comedic value to some of his music videos, right?
It's a person that can take the failures in their life and turn them into motivation. It's believing in yourself when no one else does. It's amazing what a little bit of faith can do. If you don't even believe in you, why would you think or expect anybody else that's around you to? I done did things that I regret. I done said things I can't take back. Was a lost soul at a crossroad who had no hope, but I changed that. I spent years of my life holding on to things I never should have kept, full of hatred. Years of my life carrying a lot of baggage that I should have walked away from. Years of my life wishing I was someone different, looking for some validation. Years of my life trying to fill a void, pretending I was in. They get it.
Oh shit, that was kind of mean. Slept in. Oh, is he back in the mansion? Is that what's going on here? Loons?
Pain's a necessary evil, difficult to go through, yes, but beneficial.
How are we just gonna do that? How are we gonna allow this to happen? Right? We go from like the normal beat that we were going, like that we got introduced to in this song. All of a sudden we're hearing part of the song Mansion, and he's back in the mansion thanks to Dark Nate. And the next thing you know, it goes into like a completely different, not completely different, but a different sounding beat and everything. Like, what is going on? But back to what he was saying before Evil Nate pushed Good Nate back into the mansion, right? Yeah, man, I mean, like having that confidence, that self-belief, right? So that self-confidence in yourself will take you so far, man. We've talked about this a lot here on the channel in a lot of different songs. But self-confidence is so important, in my opinion, because you know, nobody really thinks you really matters, right? So, you know, just because somebody, you know, your mom and dad may think you can do something, if you don't, then like it's kind of, you're not really gonna achieve your full potential in whatever that is, right? So, you know, being able to have that self-confidence, that self-belief, man, will really take you so far. And exactly like he said, if you don't have it, how do you expect other people to have it? I mean, I know you use mom and dad as an example, but they're your mom and dad. So we'll say like friends or other people around you, right? Like, how do you expect them to have belief in you if you don't have it in yourself, right? I mean, I think it's a very, very important thing. We're gonna back this up like way, like, yeah, like here. Man. He looks like he hit the ground hard, dude.
Evil, difficult to go through, yes, but beneficial. Some would say having a mental breakdown is a negative thing, which on one hand I agree, but on the other hand, it was the push I needed to get help and start the healing process. See, if I didn't ever hit my bottom, would I be the person that I am today? I don't believe so. I'm a perfect.
I feel like that's such a real thing that I don't know. maybe it just feels like a lot of people don't think about or consider, right? But the both sides of it, right? Where he says, some would say having a mental breakdown is a negative thing, which on one hand I agree with, but on the other hand, it was the push I needed, right? And it really is just a matter of perspective, right? Like, of course, it is a bad thing to go through a mental breakdown. Like, nobody wants that for anybody else. But sometimes going through those experiences and those situations, right, really do push you out the other side so much stronger, so much further, right? Like way more clear-headed than you were before, right? And sometimes it is exactly the thing you need to be able to grow, to be able to take the next step, you know?
Down is a negative thing, which on one hand I agree, but on the other hand it was the push I needed to get help and start the healing process. See, if I'd never hit rock bottom, would I be the person that I am today? I don't believe so. I'm a prime example of what happens when you choose to not accept defeat and face your demons. Took me 30 years to realize that if you want to get the opportunity to be the greatest version of yourself, sometimes you gotta be someone you're not to hear the voice of reason. Having kids will make you really take a step back and look in the mirror. At least for me, that's what it did.
Man, I mean, that verse was fire too. I mean, the ending of that, man, I mean, like, I will always love real music, man, because I mean, he just tells it how it is so plainly, and it's so easy to follow, in my opinion. To me, it took me 30 years to realize that if you want to get that opportunity to be the greatest version of yourself, sometimes you got to be someone you're not to hear the voice of reason, right? And I think by that he means by being someone that you're not is maybe someone you're not in that moment, right? Because when you're going through these mental breakdowns, these periods of depression and anxiety, and all that, right? You don't feel strong. You don't feel like you can be confident that you're worthy of whatever it is, right? And sometimes it takes, like you said, being someone you're not, being that stronger version of yourself, even though in the moment you might not be. Sometimes that's what it takes to continue to grow, to continue to take that step forward. Now, what I want to know is who is this guy? I don't know who this old guy is. I've never seen him. He's got like black tape over his mouth. Oh, wait, okay. Yeah, I definitely missed some here in the music video.
Negative thing, which on one hand I agree, but on the other hand it was the push I needed to get help and start the healing process. See, if I'd never hit rock bottom, would I be the person that I am today? I don't believe so. I'm a prime example of what happens when you choose to not accept defeat and face your demons. Took me 30 years to realize that if you want to get the opportunity to be the greatest version of yourself, sometimes you gotta be someone you're not to hear the voice of reason. Having kids will make you really take a step back and look in the mirror. At least for me, that's what it did.
True.
Wake up every day and pick my son up, hold him in my arms and let him know he's loved. Standing by the window, questioning if that is ever going to show up. Isn't something he's gonna have to worry about. Don't get it twisted, that wasn't a shot. Mama, I forgive you, I just don't want him to grow up thinking that he'll never be enough. 30 years of running, 30 years of searching.
That's gotta be a hard thing to say, right? I mean, because he did put it out there, like, for real, for what it is, right? Like, I don't want my kid ever thinking I'm not gonna be there, like I'm not gonna show up. And he says, you know, don't get confused. Like, that was not a shot. That's just real, right? I just don't want my kid to have to go through what I went through. And it's not a shot. I mean, it just is what it is, right? It's just reality of the situation. Now, I think for the old man, I think what that was is, because obviously he was inside the perception cage. So I think that was just NF as like an older man, like kind of like him seeing himself if he doesn't get out of that negative mind space, right? And really look for the light and the hope, right? So he kind of sees himself in the future, I think is what that was about.
I forgive you, I just don't want him to grow up thinking that he'll never be enough. 30 years of running, 30 years of searching, 30 years of hurting, 30 years of pain, 30 years of fearful, 30 years of anger, 30 years of empty, 30 years of shame, 30 years of broken, 30 years of anguish, 30 years of hopeless, 30 years of hate, 30 years of never, 30 years of maybe, 30 years of later, 30 years of fate, 30 years of hollow, 30 years of sorrow, 30 years of darkness, 30 years of hate, 30 years of baggage, 30 years of sadness, 30 years of stagnant, 30 years of change, 30 years of patience, 30 years of suffering, 30 years of torment, 30 years of hate, 30 years of bitter, 30 years of lonely, 30 years of pushing everyone away. You'll never revolve. I know I can change. We are not enough. We are not the same. You don't have the heart. You don't have the strength. You don't have the will. You don't have the faith. You'll never be loved. You'll never be safe. Might as well give up. Not running away. You don't have the guts. You're the one afraid. I'm the one in charge. I'm taking the. I'm taking the. Reigns.
All right, so that was Hope, NF's latest track, man. And there's just so much to say, man, about this song, man. It was just so good, man. I mean, it just sounded so good. There's so many different styles to it, man. I mean, the throwback with the whole mansion part, kind of got the battle of the good and evil going on within him. And, you know, by the end of the song, you know, we see that that Hope, the good Nate, so to speak, is taking the reins. So I think, again, that is another nod into what kind of direction, what kind of messages or sounds or feelings we'll get from the album coming out in a couple months, man. But this song as a whole, man, was it's just so real, for a lack of better words, right? I mean, it's just so honest, right? It's just so pure almost, and it's relatable for a lot, man. And I know it can't be easy with some of the things he talks about, especially the ending of the song, right? That 30 years, that whole start where he was just 30 years this, 30 years that, 30 years that, right? Just so many things, and it's got to be so tough. But I mean, it's so relatable because I think a lot of us have felt, most of those feelings at some point or another, man. And it's all about, it's all about just trying to clean up the baggage, when you can, and just moving on and trying to keep that positive outlook on life, man. I mean, but overall, man, the song was a banger, man. I love all the different sounds and styles we heard in that one, man. It was really good, and I am super excited for the new album coming out. But like I said, man, I enjoyed it, and I hope you guys did as well. If you did, please make sure to leave a like, hit that sub button, hit that button that we're dropping the next one. That is all I got for you guys for now. It's your Rock Soldier. Hope you have a great rest of your night. Even better tomorrow. I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, guys? Peace.